Hello, this is Kings of the Ice, a new podcast about figure skating, which is not new at all, but I still couldn't find any better opening to the show. So, as we all know, we are just after most important event of the whole season, which is World Figure Skating Championships. And of course, at first we are gonna discuss the most important fact from all the event, which is Christina Isabeau from Germany still had the same ridiculously massive amount of bronzer on her cheeks as during the European Championships. Or maybe it was not that important. Of course, the most important thing to discuss is who had the best celebration after their performance. Was it Katia Kurakova wildly running on the ice? Was it Donovan Carillo, who almost smashed his head against the ice surface? Or was it ever-serious Benoit who showed freaking madness while banging against the band after Adam's free? Or maybe was it Denis Vasilyevs who almost fell while doing literally nothing but standing? So yeah, that was the most important events during the World Championships. See you the next time. So after that stupid joke, I think we can start just discussing the event. And this is just seriously speaking. Now, one person I really want to give a shout out to, because I already said in previous episodes that when it comes to any competition, any championships, I would really love to talk about singles, because I don't really have my eye on pairs nor ice dance couples. And I just don't really feel like talking about, these two disciplines, as I am not so interested in them, and therefore I don't have a vast knowledge enough to talk about them. So I just prefer to stay with singles. This is something that I really love to talk about. This is something that I religiously watch. And but even despite the fact that I don't follow ice dance nor pairs, I can't just imagine talking about these World Championships without giving a shout out to Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps, of course. And not only, because Diana is actually the oldest competitor in figure skating to win a title in any discipline. She's 40, of course, but I'm so fed up with hearing that, oh my God, she skates and she's old. There is so much more to her than her age, like her extensions, her wild expressions, she's everything but ice princess. Her stability jump-wise, I really don't remember her being not stable. She's actually world's vice champion in 2000, and you can watch her short program on YouTube. And why I talk about it is that you could really see how much of personality she has even back then during her junior years. Because when you watch her reactions to the notes, to the points she got, and she got some good points back then, she was so visibly disappointed. And it was the competition where she got the vice champion title, losing only to Jennifer Kirk. So it says a lot, and I admire her so much, and so do the skating community overall. I also want to say that, just like always, I'm gonna be first covering a short program for ladies and for men, and I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm gonna cover ladies less this time, because this event has a little bit less to offer for me than men. It was men's event where we had more of emotions, more of rivalry, where the results were less predictable. We had some great comebacks, and I think that if you watched it live, you probably feel the same. It was like that for me, and the same goes for short in general. Short both for men and for women didn't give that much of emotion. So I'm going to be talking about ladies less, and I'm going to be talking about short way less than about free. In the next episode, we are going to be talking so much about these performances. But for now, let's start with ladies. The most important thought and the most vivid thought that I have watching ladies was that we actually got to witness some great comebacks, or I should say some skaters that really bounced back from their previous bad competition. Like, they really upgraded their game. For example, Nella Pelkonen, who sadly popped or got wrong almost all of her jumps during European Championships, now during Worlds performed way better. All Isabeau Levito, who, as we know, had a disastrous nationals. It was Amber Glenn who actually got the title, and she was so thrilled. It's a pleasure to watch, really. If you didn't, please watch it on YouTube. Amber's reaction and also Isabeau's dignity and respect for the results that came. But Isabeau wasn't great at nationals, we know that. And she really made some progress, and you could really see that she worked so hard to perform well at the Worlds, while also testing her new program, which is always a little bit risky. She actually tested it before at Nationals, I believe. I would say it's still risky to test it at Worlds, and she did it, which is quite brave from her, I would say. I would also say that something's slightly off with her spins. She's a little bit slower on them, and I believe she even fell from one during nationals. So this is something that, I don't know, maybe comes from the terrain where after all of the competitions, after all of the season, or maybe this is something that she really needs to work on because she probably focused on her jumps more. But still, she bounced back and was good enough during this event to get silver overall. Another good comeback was Kimi Repond, who was 7th at European Championships, which was visibly a disappointment for her after being 3rd last year and getting bronze. Now, at Worlds, she was 5th to her delight, and you could really see that she was happy about it, that she really bounced back from these European Championships, being great at the Worlds, so happy for her. And I really hoped for the same kind of a comeback for Julia Sauter from Romania, because I really like her. I think she has lots of charisma, that she's sassy. She's very interesting. But that kind of comeback, like for Nella Pelkonen, like for Kimi Repond, like for Isabeau Levito, unfortunately didn't happen for Julia. And I couldn't watch her desperate discussion with her coach and, her storming out of Kiss and Cry right after the results. She's a little bit just like the title of her last season performance, a little unsteady. And I would really love to see her being more stable, being more confident, maybe. We also had some surprises, not surprises. And the first surprise, not surprise, was Kari Sakamoto being 4th after the short. Why I say it is surprise is because she was a favorite. Why I'm not surprised is because she's, I would say she always has that very strong free. I wouldn't say she's always a favorite when it comes to short, but when it comes to free, she is like a storm. And these programs of her are usually more powerful. And I think we kind of felt that she's able to bounce back after short to being first in free. Also, another surprise, not surprise, was Luna being first and winning over Kaori. Is of course a little bit of a surprise, and she's the one who also says that honestly. Once she said that when Kaori skates cleanly, there is absolutely no one who can compare to her. So she was pretty sure about it. So it was a surprise even for her, I think, being first after short. And what was not surprise was her actually being off the podium overall. Why I say it was not surprise is that before European Championships, she would also say that it was her ultimate goal. It was the main goal of the season. So do her coaching staff. They would also say that anything but gold would be a disappointment since she was second, losing to Anastasia Gubanova last year. And I believe them. That was the peak of her shape during the European Championships. And honestly, as much as I root for her, I would be very surprised if she was first at Worlds. Not only because of Kaori, but also because of all of the Korean girls, etc. So, for other girls, I would say the rest of the results was pretty much predictable. And just like I said, I would love to cover men a little bit more. And I would like to start with Donovan Carillo. I think that among the skating community is more or less the same attitude as towards Diana Stellato, because everybody's saying, oh my God, Diana is old and she still skates. Just like I said, there is so much more to her. And the same goes for Donovan, because everybody keeps saying about this story, you know, the one that he would skate in the public ring before and he was like an underdog because there are like no training facilities in Mexico, blah, blah, blah. And really, let's just stop that. I mean, he already switched to a fully professional ring, the Thornhill Club. He's not an underdog anymore. So there is something to him, not only because of his origin or his unique story, but he's another performer who got the cheers from the audience right from the very first seconds, just like Luna. And for example, he had that great quad salcho, a jump with a rip-on, like hands over head during the jump, which is quite rare among men. I don't really know why, because, you know, the name of the element, it actually comes from Adam Rippon, who used to do that a lot, while more girls do it comparing to men. So when I saw Donovan doing that, I almost immediately thought that it was worth mentioning, but it was not only distinctive feature that Donovan has. Like, he had some moves that indicate good flexibility, like half Billman, not as beautiful as Jason's, but still, again, quite rare among men, or that leg sweep in the air, first one at the beginning of the program and second one by the end of it. Nice air positions, long extension after triple axel, a feature that always indicates a really good control over a jump, something you could really see in the past. His spins could be faster though, and I pray for less awkward ending position the next time. And the biggest no-no for me was that his free actually was suspiciously similar to his short. In terms of some transitions and choreography-wise in general, you could really see some elements that are almost the same in the free and in the short. But still, he was a skater who really looked like he had fun, as opposed to so many others who kind of looked tense and overly focused on quads. And oh god, fun music, and I personally think it's actually always is a tricky choice. Because if a skater keeps falling during a fun program, a fun music, in my opinion, it kind of look more uncomfortable, if you know what I mean. First, because of the contrast between the music and the situation going on the ice. And secondly, because you realize that they are actually faking their happy expression that was meant to suit the mood of the music. But luckily, it was not the case for Donovan, even though choosing fun music is risky. This time he was both fun and precise. And the most important remark I made of him is, I really felt he's that kind of skater who skates to the music, not a skater who skates while the music is playing. You know what I mean? Which I think sadly is quite often these days. Anyway, all of it adds to Donovan's interesting profile and really got me to have an eye on him in the future. meaning starting following him on Instagram, because as we all know, that's what serious support and commitment means these days. Anyway, another highlight of the men's event I want to talk about is Denis Vasilyev's. He finally had some stable jumps during his short and was absolutely flying over the ice. I would still say he's one of the best spinners out there, just like Jason, and I really hope he won't be perceived as being, let's say, the older student of Stéphane Labiel, the second one, always in shade of Shoma Uno Shining Star, and I really believe he hasn't said his last word yet. For the heartbreaks of the men's event, I would say, firstly, Boyang Jin's bad performance, and secondly, we all know what's coming, Adam Xiao Himfa disastrous performance. And I could see some signs by his nerves at European Championships. I could really see some signs of it coming during the Worlds. I kind of think that he got the title on a shaky legs. It was a shaky legs title because his jumps during European Championships were a little bit wobbly. His air positions were scary. And I feel that it was a title gotten in pain. The same goes for these Worlds, but in a good way. Like, he really bounced back, and we all know that. But during his short, I kind of thought that he's that kind of person that, when he's on fire, then he's on fire. If he's not, he kind of breaks, just like Amber Glenn. And I really felt that there's nothing in between. But we all know, anybody who thought that we really needed to change our mind when it comes to free. But that's a story for another episode, because we all know that it was free event where the fun really began. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned and have a great day.